Hello again. I do think we have the best stage of the venue. So many amazing speakers. I'm watching all the time backstage, and I see the program on this stage. It's just mind-boggling. I've seen so much cool stuff, and again, this conversation really interesting. So we have to move on to the next one. Again, a really interesting talk from a very interesting person. We have Jacob Benbunan on waiting for us. He was already here in the talk earlier, but now he's going to talk on his own. He's the CEO of Saffron Brand Consultants, which he founded with Wally Owens in 2001. And Saffron Brand Consultants works under the principle that a brand should promote the promise of an experience delivered. I think that's a really good goal. In this session, Jacob will share his thoughts on the importance of good design on the design stage, the creative stage, here at Web Summit. So, give him a warm welcome. Jacob Benbunan.
Okay, can you hear me well? Hope so. Okay, wonderful. I was asked to give my thoughts about why design matters. And you might recall this mimic when he started saying, in the beginning, well, in the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. Created. God is a designer. God is a designer, but designers are not gods. Everyone's creative, but not everyone is a creator. So what is design? Well, everything is design, and everything is designed. When you look at a chair designed by Chipperfield, or one designed by Mies van der Rohe, that also designed the Barcelona Pavilion, or Dieter Rams designing for Brown, or Johnny Eve inspired by Dieter Rams designing the iPod, or just anything that we can think of is designed. Otto Neurath designing originally the little icons that inspires us as we move through spaces. Or Otto Eicher in the Munich Olympics. Or the symbol of Deutsche Bank, or Future Brand designing the symbol the nation plays for Peru. Or Uber developing its user interface. Everything, when you look at it, we know, because we've learned and we've done our homework, that design follows function. What are we trying to solve as designers? Paul Rand very wisely said that design is so simple. That's why it's so complicated. We speak through languages. Things speak through design. And Steve Jobs quite rightly said that design is not just what it looks and feels like. Design is how it works. And we've all seen this fantastic seminal book by Don Normal when he said the design of everything things, of everyday things. That at the end of the day, design can and does influence human behavior. Design can create change. How so? Through objects, through services, through interiors, through architecture, through landscaping, through urbanism, through visual expression. Design can make things desirable or undesirable. Design can make things intentional or unintentional. Design can eventually manipulate us all. But what's really, really important is that we need to understand that design is a process. It's a process that starts as consultants with a brief, then you have to research, and then you have to ideate, and then you have to come up with ideas that you refine, and then come up eventually with the creation that gets expressed through web design, interactive design, sound design, motion design, 3D design, interior design, transportation design, lighting design, graphic design, and on and on and on. To the point of this wonderful piece of commercial from Swiss that said, think of us as a nice Helvetica in the world of Comic Sans. Our business, the business of brand consultancy, of design agencies, goes through a roller coaster of time. And as my late partner, Wally Ollins, said, a lot of the time we have to say, you have to have the courage of my convictions. We can create extraordinary work, but we can also get something 24 hours in a very commoditized world, because everyone is an expert. Design is a bit like football. We all understand about football. We all understand about who's the best, whether Cristiano is the best or Messi is the best, we all know. And design is like this. Everybody's an expert. And that has implied that design has become, or can have become, because it hasn't, a commodity. Start here, risk-free, crowdsource your design. I remember a few years ago, I was here standing, and I, as the founder and chief creative officer of a bespoke brand consultancy, stood against someone that owned one of these companies, and we called a vote. Who should win? Brands, visual expressions developed from craft and attention, and the process that I just described, or crowdsourced. It was quite interesting. About 5,000 people voted, and I have to say I won. That was quite refreshing to hear. So why do clients come to us? I'm going to share with you two clients of ours that I believe would be interesting. One is YouTube. When YouTube came to us, was a total chaos. 2015, 10 years after founding, YouTube was something like a commodity. People don't see YouTube as a business or as a product. The reality was that people saw YouTube as a place, as a destination, which exists because it's relevant to people. And when you look at YouTube, YouTube is a collection of communities that need to be aligned through a different system, like a city. You have a navigation system, you have milestones, you have landscape, you have a governing city, and eventually we developed a system, a purpose, which was fundamental for the design to be developed, which is YouTube is a place that encourages people to embrace their interests, interact with the communities, and help cultures grow. That sense of destination helped the whole design team come on with a system, which is what you now experience as YouTube. The second case is a case that you are very much familiar with, particularly since last Thursday, which is the evolution of something which is very, very powerful, which is human potential. We started working with Facebook in 2019, and we developed the whole idea of Facebook Inc. that actually created this sense of purpose for organization that was all about getting people closer and getting people together. Last Thursday, you saw Meta born. And my company has been privileged to work with the in-house design team of Facebook to develop what you saw Thursday night and Mark Zuckerberg announced. Meta is quite an interesting concept today still, where that actually transforms an organization that wants to move away from being a social media company to a technology company that embraces the metaverse. Quite an important moment for us, and quite an important moment for Facebook. And what we see here is that design can really help a vision come to reality if the vision is all about a purpose. Some of this is what you've seen, and a lot of this you'll come and you see coming very, very much onwards. Creative power of strategy. Without strategy, nothing can work. Because strategy and design eventually become together. Designing for the sake of designing without a sense of purpose and a sense of strategy behind don't really work. And a project has to have a taxonomy, an anatomy. Immersion, strategy, design, implementation, activation. Can you say that there's design without strategy? Golfer is a very powerful client of ours because we mixed our experience in place branding with the experience in the airline industry, with the experience with a profound element that has to do with service, which is experience itself. When we developed Golfer, it was all about creating a sense of experience and belonging to what Bahrain is all about. It had to work with the symbol of the falcon. It had to work with how that symbol really inspired everything from the typography to the iconography to the words to the icons that you see here, or actually to the illustration that you can see there, all the way to the interior design of the planes. Quite an all-encompassing system that would not have been able to exist without a solid strategy that had to be all about expressing what Bahrain is about. So how does it work? You know it all. Is there strategy without design? Yes, there could be. But you miss the point, because you miss something which is as powerful as making culture and strategy visible, making it tangible to all of us. Yes, that's what makes our industry, our companies, so attractive to people. You can work for an investment bank, you can work for a strategy, business strategy company, but which is fascinating as well, but you don't see it with your eyes. You can't touch it. When I go to a petrol station and I fill my car, I remember that I was behind the design of this petrol station. And that's amazing. And as I said before, design follows purpose. Design follows strategy. Charles Eames said, design is a plan of arranging elements in such a way as best to accomplish a particular purpose. True. So you would ask yourself, what is an engineer doing behind or running a brand consultancy? Brand is a business, is about business, but it's also about magic. It's the wonderful moment where you see planets align, that business and magic are aligned. It's the lens we use to look at things. It is something that allows organizations to combine these elements of being relevant and being authentic to create differentiation. It's about creating creative solutions for strategic problems. Designers make things look good. Good designers make things look excellent. And excellent designers make brand work. Because design by itself is not good enough, but strategy and design allows you to be magical. Yes, there are challenges in our business. Yes, of course, you have to research, you have to test, there's KPIs, there's people asking on the return of investment. There is always in-house strategy, in-house design, that if you're lucky, like we are with the in-house design team of Facebook, it's an absolute treat. But sometimes it's not the case. And you see there's budgets and timing, fragmentation, and pressure and competition and the pandemic and working from home and not working from home. And there's something very, very important that boils down to the 3 Ps, which is people, power, and politics. The 3 things that actually influence a very good design piece. That's what I wanted to share with you today. So I hope you agree with me that good design matters, and have a lovely rest of the day. Thank you, guys.